Evening. Welcome back to Beyond the Lane, episode 37. How's everyone doing tonight? Nige, how are you, buddy?
I am fantastic. Yeah, all good, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. I just finished shoving a sandwich down my throat. But no, other
Nice.
than that, I'm all right. Big up to everyone in the chat. We'll say a few hellos in a minute. But look, the news hasn't broken yet, so it's not official. But I think it's going to happen. Don't you think, Nige?
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, let's crack open a beer and have a good show tonight. So the theme of the show tonight, obviously, it's obvious. We're going to be talking about Thomas Frank. We put the link in the chat, so if anybody wants to jump on, please too. Come on, stay as long as you want. We've got some questions around the appointment. Well, it hasn't been made official, but it looks like it's going to happen. So look, let's say a few hellos to people in the chat and see who's here with us tonight. Please remember to subscribe to myself and Nige if you haven't already, and smash the like button. Much appreciated. Thank you. Big up, Cookie. Evening to you, man. How you doing? How are you feeling about the news? You happy? Tom, evening panel and chat. Hope all is well. Big up, Tom. Hope you're good, man. Philly, big up, DAnalyst, Nige, Pure Coys, a panel, and extraordinary guests and the people in the chat this evening. Have a great show. Thank you very much, man. Anybody's welcome to jump on. Big up, Mark. Evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Put the link there. Hopefully it'll go pin at the top of the chat. Nige saying hello. Ben, evening to you, buddy. Hope you're good. And that was a satisfying beer opening sound, Nige. Yeah, he got it right. Fair play. Yeah. What are you drinking tonight, Nige?
I am drinking Moretti. I may have opened the can before we went live, so I had to do a little fake one.
I should have done mine closer to the mic. I'm drinking a nice Danish beer tonight. Well, it's not my favourite beer, but I mean, you know, that's the only Danish beer they had in the off license. So, yeah, it'll do. Mark saying big up to Ben. Big up back. Evening to the Crows. What price at Brentford at home opening day of the season, eh? That'd be crazy, right? Yeah, I wonder who they're bringing in now, Brentford.
Ange? No, it'd be interesting. They reckon the Ipswich manager's favourite, don't they? Kieran McKenna. That's what they reckon.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Who was it? I saw someone linked. Can't remember who it was though. So how's everyone feeling in the chat about Frank? Are you happy? What's the feeling amongst people in the chat? Tell us how you're feeling. We're going to have some questions coming out shortly about him. But before we do that, Nige, you wanted to talk about Spurs Kings TV and the awards?
Yeah, so Spurs Kings TV have come up with a really good idea, actually, of doing a Tottenham content creator awards. And to our amazing surprise, let me find where it is. I mean, I'm very disappointed I didn't get into the funniest creator, but still, there you go. Maybe next year. I'm finding it, the best Spurs show and Beyond the Lane is on the list. So if you want to go over to the Spurs Kings, if you haven't voted already, or even if you have, just vote again and vote for Pure Coys and the Spurs DAnalyst for Beyond the Lane. That would be absolutely amazing. And Dan has also been upcoming star of 2026. So get over and vote for Dan at the Spurs DAnalyst. And I never even saw that, but apparently, best newcomer, Dan is in that as well, and Pure Coys. So yeah, get voting. Vote for whoever you want. It's fine.
Big up.
No,
Cheers,
it's a really good idea, isn't it? It's just a bit of fun, but it's a really good idea.
Yeah, look, big up Spurs Kings TV, you know, coming out with these new ideas all the time. And all the content creators involved there. There's so many, isn't there, on YouTube? So yeah, guys, don't don't know if you're doing the voting, but yeah, it's lovely to be included. So thank you, Spurs Kings TV at Marlon and Ash, for putting us down. Yeah, it's nice, really nice thing to do. Let's go through the chat. Ben's excited about Frank. Philly, I would be drinking Castlemaine 4X or the amber nectar that fosters to celebrate. Oh, that's a cheeky one. Thomas, Frank. Big up, Brian. Evening to you. Hope you're good. Brian's very happy about Frank. He was saying he wanted him before, didn't he? I remember.
He was, yeah. Yeah, he was banging the Frank drum for quite a while. So fair play to Brian for that. I got to say, I wasn't on the Frank train to start with, but I definitely am now. I am front and center. I want a T-shirt. So Frankie says, "Relax." I've seen Brian do them on Twitter. I want one.
That's so cool. Fair enough. Ben, if you don't get best daytime show, I'll be effing fuming. Yeah, people vote for Ben, the best daytime show. He's always there. Brilliant little show. Go and check it out if you haven't already. Give Ben a sub. Big up Brian. Vote for the 2 marks. Oh, yeah. They deserve a category. What they're in? They're the newcomers, I think, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. How's the what's it called? The best 11 going, Cookie? I've got a couple to catch up on. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Been watching it, Nige?
I have. Yeah, I have. I've watched all of them. I only got to see half of the one today, just because I was prepping and then decided to go live on TikTok for some reason. But yeah, no, good shows. Really good shows. Get involved and like and subscribe to the 2 Marks show because they're putting out really good content.
Yeah, 100%. Go over and subscribe.
And they're lovely.
Yeah, they are. They've got all the history. You know that I watched Mark's team. Is it Mark's? Yeah, Mark's. Yeah, very, very good side. Very attacking orientated. But I think if you've seen the episodes, most teams are set up and they're very attacking because that's where all our best players have been.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And Nige, I was so surprised, man. I only had 2 of the same players as you.
Did you?
Yeah.
What 2 players? Oh, you can't tell me. She wasn't on yet. But I got to say, every time I see my side, I was like, that is an absolutely banging side. I did have to shoehorn a few players in, but it's all good.
It's all good. Brian, I'm going on Savers from 8 to 9 your time. If you're still going, I will come and join you.
We're still
going. Fun. Have fun. Big up everyone in the chat. I'm going well. Yeah. Big up, mate. Big up. So look, it's been crazy, right? Like what, 18 days since that final, right, Nige? About 18 days. So we won the final, the madness from that. Then everybody's waiting what's going to happen with the manager. We find out. Was it Friday? Announced, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, all the days are kind of morphing into one. It's been 20 days, hasn't it, since final? So it's 3 weeks ago tomorrow.
Yeah. So, then we find out everyone's frustrated because they want to know what's going on. Then we find out the news. And then obviously the links to Frank were before that news. So then Ange obviously goes. And then it's on to Frank. And it's very close. We got the Here We Go from Romano this morning. People said that there was going to be an announcement at 11 o'clock. It never happened. But I think they're trying to sort out the staffing, aren't they? I think Frank wants to take over, take his staff with him. Maybe there's some kind of discussions around that. I mean, I think he should be able to take them all, don't you, Nige?
Yeah, I don't see it as being a massive issue. I think he'll probably get what he wants, seeing as most of the staff that were under Ange, I know Ange didn't pick them, have actually left. I think there's only 2 that remain. So I don't see an issue with him being able to take his staff. I think it's going to happen Disappointed it didn't happen today, but I think by tomorrow morning, I think we will get the official news tomorrow morning. We
Yeah.
were supposed to get an announcement today, weren't we? At 11, everyone was saying like 11 a.m. announcement, but never happened. Spurs never rush these things, do they?
No. It'll be good if you could take all his staff. Not
Mm.
just one or two. Should be taking the whole lot, really, shouldn't they? I think.
I think I was reading today that he's taken 4, and then he's on about taking a set piece coach who used to work at United and Arsenal. So yeah, we'll see.
So look, all of this going on. I mean, I was happy that Ange's gone. I mean, relieved. I didn't want him to start next season. I've just had to, on the whole, I've had such a horrible season
Mm.
watching Spurs, and I think for me personally, that was the right decision to let Ange go. The league form wasn't good enough, and I didn't want to see what would happen next season. I mean, it's such a risk. Next season's going to be harder anyway, playing in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So for me, obviously, I was happy that he lost his job. Obviously, there's been a massive mixed reaction, isn't there, from everywhere about how can we sack a manager who's won a trophy. I think the thing for me, and I think a lot of fans are starting to come round to it now that he's gone, get behind Frank, but there are still some that are unhappy. Ange had a big following, but I can't be watching my team every week, have that amount of defeats, and it was just painful. And look, Frank, he's going to come in. He's like the polar opposite, isn't he, Nige, to Ange?
Yeah. Totally. Well, he seems to be totally different, doesn't he? And you're right, a lot of people were not happy with A, Ange's sacking, and B, the fact that it looks like it's going to be Thomas Frank. I see a lot of fans already saying Frank out before he's even begun, which is absolutely crazy. But I think as a fan base now, we have to try and unite and get behind this team because I am so excited about next season, and they are totally different managers. Do you know what I'm looking forward to the most, Dan? I'm looking forward to Tottenham going a goal behind and seeing what Thomas Frank does. Seeing if he thinks, you know what, I need to put another man in midfield. Or actually, if I go to 3 at the back and push my wing backs really high, we'll get more output. Or we need another strike on the pitch. All the things that our last manager, and I don't really want to talk about him, but our last manager never did. I'm looking forward to seeing how Frank reacts to different game situations because that's when I think he's at his best. Listen, I can't see us winning leagues. We're not going to be winning leagues under him, but we are definitely going to progress under him. I can't wait to see him.
So you're happy?
Oh, delighted. Yeah. I think this could be, I honestly think that Frank and Tottenham fit hand in glove. I think he's perfect for Tottenham because he's not your big name manager who's going to be, demanding things, and he will work well with the players he's got and he will get the best out of them as well.
Mark Cookie in the chat has just alerted us to something which I want to read out. Okay, so it's a bit of an update from Sammy Mockbell. I'll read it out. So there's growing expectation that Frank could be confirmed the next Tottenham manager within the next 48 hours. Talks between Spurs and Brentford are ongoing. They are progressing positively, and there is a will on both sides to get the deal done quickly. Thanks, Cookie, for that, man. Yeah, it's a great little
Thanks,
update
buddy.
there. Not really telling us much more other than, talks are ongoing, but yeah.
Kind of guesswork, isn't it? I mean, we could put, thanks, Cookie, but we could, Sammy Mockbell. I don't think he's like the best. I just think anyone could say, yeah, I think it'll be done in the next 40 hours. You're hedging your bets a bit. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Surely, but yeah. But any news is good news, I guess, and it's good that the talks are progressing well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it will go through. I do. Listen, big up to you, man. Kulu was spending a lot of time with Gorkarez on the sidelines. I'm just hoping transfer agent Kulu is doing his thing.
Yeah, if he stays. This is the thing. We don't know who's staying, who's coming. Is I think it's really exciting. You know, we could have a totally different team next year.
Yeah, look, just going back a bit to kind of the fan reaction, and there's some stuff I'm going to read out, which I've seen today and yesterday around fans' reaction on Frank and going. I mean, look, for me, Frank, he's done well managing Brentford, I think. Look, the budget is one of the lowest in the league. The wages are one of the lowest in the league. He's got not a bad record against top six sides. I think it's something he's won like 10 games against them. Obviously, he's lost more. But there was a season where he had a really good record against the top six sides. Now, he has different styles of play. Sometimes he sits back. Sometimes he plays on the counter-attack. They go direct. He's good with the set pieces. And I don't know if you've seen his videos, Nige. Obviously, everyone's gone and watched them now. The ones from Sky Sports, and I think the coach's voice. You know, he adapts. You know, in game, depending on your position, he has Plan A, Plan A B, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D. You know, and this is what you need because we haven't got the best team in the league. You know, that we're going to be up against it. Against certain opposition, and you need a manager to be more tactically aware in the Premier League. Nigel, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think I touched on it a minute ago, how excited I am to see Frank adapt during game situations. You know, I watched some of the Sky Sports things, and even when he was asked questions about substitutions, and he says, "Yeah, well, I adapt for when teams make subs." So that's all you want your manager to do, isn't it? Adapt to the situation at hand. And listen, it's not going to be perfect. Anyone thinking that he's going to come in and we're going to be title winners or up and around it, we probably not. But for me, I'm just excited to see how he changes this Spurs team. I just can't wait. I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air. And I don't think we'll start great. I think it might take a month, 2 months for him to get his ideas across. But once he does, I think we're going to see a totally different Tottenham team.
Yeah, that's the hope, isn't it? Like, we need to go back to basics a bit, I think. The team lost so many matches, defending all over the place. Yeah, Frank's got his work cut out, but he needs signings. He does. I know there's a break now in the transfer window, isn't it? And it closed for a couple of weeks. Is that right?
It's a week. Is it a week, 10 days, something like that? It's not too long. But
they're
then
going
that
to be
should give
working on the background, aren't they? On
yeah,
deals anyway,
yeah,
so.
it should give teams a perfect opportunity now to get deals in order, ready for when it reopens.
Yeah,
I don't see it as a major problem. But
let's say big up to Luke. Evening to you, man. Hope
bring
you're
up
good,
Luke.
buddy. I was fine with Van staying, but when the sacking news came, I moved on to Frank Train after a day or two. Choo choo. Look, before that decision, nobody knew. Nobody knew what was going to happen. We were all sitting there waiting. Obviously, as fans, we have our own take on it. I was like, I was going to be shocked if he had survived that league form. And then the club came out with a statement saying they don't want to look at it emotionally. They want to look at it overall, the overall performance of Ange in charge. And look, he's won us a trophy. Thank you, Ange, for that. And he can walk away with his head held high, knowing he's won a trophy. Spurs ain't won nothing for so long. He'll get another job. I don't know where.
Oh God, yeah.
I just think, a lot of fans are upset because of that. It's that thing, isn't it? Because we hadn't won anything for so long. He won it, and then they felt that he should be given a chance for next season. And that's the whole kind of debate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all kind of got into our head that, okay, it looks like he might be staying after that. And I wouldn't say I was okay with it, but I was like, okay, I'm resigned to the fact that Ange is probably staying now. But I think anyone, even the biggest Ange fan, has to realise that it was always going to go down to league form, and league form wasn't anywhere near good enough. And for once, Levy got it right. You know, Levy does a lot of wrong things, but he's got this absolutely spot on. He kept Ange in charge. He must have had that dilemma: do I get rid of Ange and get a new manager in and hope that we win the Europa League, or do I just stick with him, hopefully win the Europa League and then get rid? And I think, fair play to Levy, he got it spot on, but Ange had to go. And I am so glad. It's like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders, because I haven't enjoyed the football over the last year. I don't know about you, Dan, but we've done enough shows, haven't we? And it's just been depressing.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to be next season when we come back on to YouTube. We want to be talking about wins, good performances, talking about positive stuff, not moaning every week, which we've been doing the majority of the season. So for me, I know it's massive winning that trophy. Amazing. Yeah. Fantastic stuff. Best day for years. But, if you get to the nitty gritty, week to week, we just weren't good enough. Like, we shouldn't be losing that amount of games. Fair enough if we were like 9th or 10th in the league, but not dropping down that low. And the worry is next season, if he would have remained in charge, what is going to change? We're going to be struggling again in the Champions League, cup competitions, injuries piling up because of Ange's style of play. Oh, look, I'm happy. I'm happy with this decision. And I don't know about you, Nige, but it's kind of given me some fresh hope.
Yeah, I suddenly have a little bit of a bounce in my step. Listen, the Europa League win helped that, but certainly since Ange is gone, I'm now looking at Twitter with a bit of excitement. I'm looking forward to next season. I'm looking forward to the players that we might bring in. I'm looking forward to a different style of play. I just feel like everything's brand new again, and I can't wait for the season to start. I can't wait to watch Tottenham, and I can't wait to see what Thomas Frank does with this squad that is 100% better than 17th. And League, I totally agree. League form was unacceptable, but winning the Europa League was unthinkable. I agree with that to an extent, but I'm at a point now where I think actually winning the Europa League has taken a bit of pressure off the new manager, whoever it is, whether it's Frank or anyone else. I think it's taken a bit of pressure off him now, because every season it's been like, he has to win a trophy. He has to win a trophy. We've won that trophy now. So hopefully Frank will just be allowed to get on with his job. And, like I said, it's not going to take a week or a month. It might take 3 or 4 months. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm excited.
Yeah, but then there's going to be the whole thing now. Frank must win a trophy in 2 years now. Otherwise, he's not done as well as Ange. You're going to hear that.
Yeah.
Look, just a bit of reaction I saw today. I won't name names, but, some fans are really unhappy. And this person I saw, I said, I've never in 27 years of supporting Tottenham been so uninspired and deflated about a manager. 18 months and no trophy incoming. If he wins against PSG, it won't count as much because he didn't earn that match. I'm disgusted with Tottenham for making a wrong choice for the 1000th time. Strong words, eh?
And that was someone who obviously didn't want Ange sacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just like, what have we been watching for the last 2 years in the league? And it's difficult because, it's difficult because sadly we've got to talk about Ange a little bit. It's difficult because we did win that Europa League, but there's no doubt, league form has not been good enough. And, it's a fresh start, isn't it? It's like, I can't wait to see what Spurs can do next under a new manager.
Just going to the comments. Frank for me is a ship steadier, like Nige said. We aren't going to win a league, but on the pitch, it'll be a lot better. Yeah, I agree, Mark. John the Fisherman, we've got Super Thomas Frank. He's very happy. Can't wait to finally enjoy watching Tottenham play. And there is that for me. A lot of that is that, we want to look forward to watching our team, and I didn't under Ange. Big up, Dan. Cheers, man. I agree. I'm Levy out, but that was a good call on Levy. He's risk averse. And as you said earlier, Nige, league form was unacceptable, but winning Europa League was unthinkable. Yeah, he did it. Listen, the only time I felt comfortable with our defence for the past 18 months was in the Europa League final. Yeah, he's obviously switched it up, didn't he, in the last couple of rounds? Well, Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt, and the final, he went all defensive, and it still really baffles me why we didn't do that earlier on in the league. I don't get it. I don't understand it, because he said he gave up in the league in January or something like that, and he could have made us a bit more solid, played on the counter attack a bit more when the players were missing, but we'll never know. We'll never know. Ange is effing gone now. Just get over it. Fair enough. Back the team or F off. Sheriff getting involved, mate. You're busy, man. Just saw your messages on there that you're working. Doing a lot of work lately, man. How you doing? Chris, evening to Chris. The disrespect towards Frank is crazy. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We are going to get into that. There is a lot of that. The Frank engine. Big up, man. How you doing?
Big up,
and Nige will jump. We'll try and jump on later. Yeah, man. Whenever, man. Come on for a bit. Yeah. Audio Artisan, evening chaps and chat. Big up to you. Hope you good. So there's something what I saw as well, that Thomas Frank wanted guarantees about how Tottenham would operate with him in charge. Frank will not have the final say on every deal, but he wanted to be part of the process, and Spurs have agreed to this. Nige, when you must have seen that on people in the chat. What's everyone's thoughts on this?
It's interesting, isn't it? I don't know. It's one that could go either way, isn't it? Basically, he's been told he's not going to have the final say, but he will be involved in the conversations. That kind of doesn't mean he's going to have much of a choice, but you would hope he would. I don't know. It's like I've been listening to other shows and they've been saying about club signings. Most signings are club signings, and I kind of think they are, aren't they? Because no manager usually stays past 2 years at any club, really, unless you're Liverpool or Man City. When you got Pep and Klopp, the like, that stay longer. Most managers in the Premier League, I think it's like a 14-month turnaround, isn't it? Something like that, 14, 16 months. So I think most signings are going to be club signings to an extent. Obviously, the manager will have some sort of say on who he wants, what positions, and what kind of player. It's interesting. It doesn't really give a lot away to me. I don't know what you think, Dan.
And why did they put that out there? Wherever it came from, that information, because I think this is it. Is a coach, head coach, manager? I think you need a manager to have control of all of these decisions, or have his say. He doesn't want your club signings. He might not like the player, might not fit into his system. So I think the manager is so key to the decisions around the recruitment, and I don't like that. I just go back and read it out again. He said Frank will not have the final say on every deal. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but this has been an ongoing problem for years. Do you think Pep just lets people come in without his say? No, I don't think so.
Probably not. I think Pep's probably earned the right, though, isn't he? Maybe. I don't know. I just think it's one of those, isn't it, where I guess Frank will say, I need a right-sided player. I want him to have these attributes. And it'll be up to Lang and Paratici or whoever's looking for the player to get a list of 4 or 5 players and say,
right, what if he says no, I don't want him? So that the club go and still sign him?
It's going to be one of them, isn't it? If he's got 4 or 5 on the list, Frank will probably agree to one of them, even if it's not particularly the one he wants. You would hope that Frank would get first choice of at least 2 or 3 of the players, hopefully.
TJ, how you doing, man?
Big up, TJ.
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. How you guys been? It's been a long while.
I haven't seen you about, man. How you been? Are you okay?
You know what? I've had to take a bit of time away from Tottenham. It's depressing being a Tottenham fan. I'll be honest with you. We should be after winning Europa League. We should obviously be happy. I just feel like everything that's going on in Tottenham, it's always negative. Negative, negative, negative. So I had to take a personal moment away from Tottenham. But other than that, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
So you come back when did you come back because of Ange news, or just you've had your break now and you're back, or what made you come back?
It's an interesting question. You know what? I'm gonna start with, as we know, regardless of what you believe in, if you feel Ange wasn't the person for you, or if you feel like Ange was the person for you, Ange achieved great things that managers before him couldn't do. You know, in 2 seasons, he managed to lift a trophy with a drought of 17 years. Now we've got a manager like Frank, and I would say that's the perfect manager for Levy.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it was on this channel or the 2 Mark shows. I said something very, very important. I think that's the last time we spoke, and I said, this is what Levy wants. He just shows that he doesn't care about winning things. He doesn't care. He genuinely doesn't care. He's happy to sack his greatest manager, because generally, look, regardless of what you think about Poch, Mourinho, Conte, we can go on. Ange was the one to do it, right? And he decided to sack him. It just shows he don't care about trophies. It shows his ambitions
were you
are low.
unhappy he was sacked, TJ?
A bit of me, look, yeah, 110%. I was, okay, before the final, I wanted Ange gone. Yes, I was a part of the Ange out group, right? However, I acknowledged that he bought time. He bought me time. I could at least give him the next year.
Yeah.
It just, look, for me, now we've got Frank, and you said something just before I come on. Frank is not going to have the final say. He's the perfect manager for Levy, man. It's in his. We don't have no ambition. There's no ambition at Tottenham. That's the problem. There's no true ambition. You have a manager winning things, and you decide to sack him. It just shows. It shows what his hidden agenda is. He don't care about trophies. He cares about sustainability. Are we happy as fans? No, we're not. I don't care about sustainability. I bet all the people that pay their season tickets, they don't care about sustainability. Nobody cares about sustainability, in fact. Not even me. I want to see Tottenham win things.
Look,
But
I get where you're coming from, and I think for me, it's got so awful under Ange, and my general enjoyment watching my team. I just want somebody to come in and sort this lot out. I agree with everything you're saying around Levy and no ambition. Yeah, 100%. But let me put this to you, TJ. You do understand, okay, put that aside, your thoughts about Ange and, winning something, and Levy doesn't want to ever win anything. Do you understand that 22 defeats and 17th is a sackable defense, isn't it? Do you know?
All right, cool. Can I throw a question at you guys? This is just devil's advocate.
Ask that one first. Answer that one first.
22 losses. Okay, 22 losses, 17 is a sackable offense, 110%. But that's not what it is right now. The circumstances in Ange is quite different, because how I see it is, he finished 5th, he's finished 4th.
Yeah,
because he's got back into the Champions League. So that wipes off.
He didn't finish 4th. What do you mean?
By him winning the Europa League, we're now 4th, right?
Well, we got Champions League, yeah.
100%. So by you saying 17th place, that doesn't matter, because we've got the ultimate goal. in 2 seasons, Ange Postecoglou was technically successful.
Yeah.
We've been screaming, well, okay, I don't know, but I don't want to make huge claims. I've been screaming for the last 10 years that I want my club to win things, that I want my club to challenge for things. And Ange has just come here 2 seasons and done what I've said all this time, and now we've sacked him. It don't sit right with me. 22 losses, yes, 100%. It's not in no circumstance he deserves to get sacked. But at best, because he won the Europa League, we should give him time, in my opinion. We should have gave him time.
Fair enough, man, and that's your opinion, and I get that, and I get where you're coming from, and you're not the only one who feels like that, man. There's a massive. I mean, were you shocked he was sacked?
Oh, 100%, yes.
You were shocked?
Yeah, definitely. Look, okay, cool. From us winning the Europa League, I thought that would I thought that it would give him more time for him to, I don't know, improve the league form or do whatever. It's ifs and buts and maybes now because obviously he's been sacked, right? But it just proved to me that Levy doesn't want to win things. He clearly showed where
it's been like that for years, though, TJ, isn't it? But like we know that, don't we? We all know that as fans deep down. He does not want to win things. He doesn't make the right decisions. We all know what Levy's like.
And that's what the biggest problem is. You know, we're never gonna move forward. Okay, cool. Now I've got a good question for you now.
Go for
By
it.
him appointing Frank, and in fact, before I make this claim, I want people to know that I believe Frank is a good manager. Yeah, so this is devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
What's coming out of my mouth right now, I don't initially believe in it, but just for the clicks.
Sure.
Just for the clicks. By him appointing Frank, because there was other managers that he could have gone for, right? In my opinion, Glasner on paper basis is better than Frank. He's won Europa League, he's won FA Cup. If it's based on achievements, Glasner's a better manager than Frank.
I agree.
Right? But he's chosen to go down this route of appointing Frank. Where does that show, or what's the direction Tottenham's going in? In my opinion, we're settling for mediocre. By you appointing Frank, that means you're okay with finishing mid-table. Where's the ambition?
TJ, are you asking us a question, or are you just kind of giving us your kind of opinion?
Oh, sorry. I kind of like went on a tangent there. You know, it's frustrating. You know, honestly, it's frustrating. No, the question is, what do you think the ambitions for Frank will be?
What his expectations?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question. We don't know, do we? Because the board never say anything about what this is the kind of goals for next season. What's the plan next 1, 2, 3 years? We're all second guessing, right? So we only go on based on evidence of what Levy has said in the past, challenging for top 4, top 5, trying to get in the Champions League, tempting to win a cup. You know, that's what he says. He wants Spurs to win things. So I think if I take that all on board, and Nige obviously coming in a sec, I think with the money we spend, the size of the club, the team we've got, yes, it needs improvement. It definitely does in certain areas. But we should be challenging for Europe at least, season in, season out, and trying to win a cup. So that's what Frank's got to do. There's going to be a bit of, obviously, he's come in. It's going to take a bit of time for him to, you know, get his tactics across, embed some new signings, etc., etc. He's obviously some need shipping out. So there's going to be a bit of a, you know, a time where you've got to give him a bit of time to build that, all that sort of stuff, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, that's the expectations, isn't it? Trying to win a trophy and trying to qualify us for Europe. The board will never splash the cash for top players. It doesn't look like they're going to break the wage structure. So we've got to know and understand the ceiling under Levy as a fan, right? And in the past, we've had Poch, who's done an amazing job, and what he did, it all come together, but we still didn't get over the line. but we were a competitive side. We were hard to beat. We had some amazing nights, amazing games and memories. Yes, we didn't go over the line, but I think that's kind of what we want Frank to get to, or as near as possible, something like Frank's done, or Harry Redknapp, for example. Exciting to watch, winning games, enjoying watching Spurs, and obviously trying to qualify for Europe and win a cup. Now, Nige, I'll go over to you, and I'm sure TJ will want to come back.
For me, it's progression. And listen, it's gonna be hard to win a cup again, because we're not going to win the league. We're in the Champions League. We're not going to be winning that. So we've got no chance in Europe, no chance in the Premier League. So the only thing we're looking at is an FA Cup or League Cup, which of course we got a chance, but we are going to probably end up playing one of the bigger sides in that. So for me, it's progression. If we can, and listen, of course, I'd love us to win a cup every year, but let's be realistic. We won one trophy in 17 years. We're probably not going to win a trophy every season. We've got to finish higher than 17th. So for me, we've got to be looking at a top 6, top 7 finish. And if we can get a cup run and maybe get to a semi-final or final, that would be amazing. Win a cup would be brilliant. But for me, more than anything, I want to fall in love with my team again, because I have hated watching Tottenham for the last 18 months. Yes, the final was amazing, of course. Well, let's caveat that. The final was shocking. It was a terrible game. But the relief and the joy when we won was something I haven't felt for a long time, and it's something that my son has never felt. So for that, I thank Ange with all my heart. But for me, I want to see my team move up the league, play good football, and I just want to fall in love with them again. I think we can get so much more out of these players. I really do.
Interesting. See, I see Frank's appointment as a step in the going backwards. I already know that we're not winning cups every single year. It's not realistic, right? But when's the next time we're going to actually lift a trophy? It's going to be another 17, 18 years.
It sounds depressing.
But it's true. But it's true, because when you do end up stacking, look, I'm not saying Ange is the right guy for our future. However, what Levy done was told the fans that trophies don't matter. At best, look, let me tell you this, for just the way I feel in it, at best, if he gave Ange next season and it didn't work, and he gave him the season and we nothing improved, we still finished 17th place, we didn't win a cup or whatever, right? Yeah. Then sack him. I can agree that that's fair enough. However, the template is too small. This is how I see it. Again, this is just my view.
Look, man, you have your view.
Yeah. Everybody's entitled to their view. This is just the way I see it. The first year we finished 5th, and you have to consider the first year we lost one of the best players that we've ever had in Kane. So for him to finish 5th was, for me, the end, we were losing a lot of games. There was a few games there it was like hard to watch. Cool, he managed to finish 5th with that team, right? Then the next season he won a trophy that, me personally, I'm a young fan, I've been screaming that this is the problem with Tottenham. We don't win trophies. All the teams around us win trophies. Man United in their worst seasons, they win trophies, right? Yeah. Right. So I was screaming that we must win a trophy. And Ange actually did say, I threw away the league for us to win a trophy. We didn't just win a trophy, we went on a long run in the Carabao Cup. We got knocked out in the semi-finals as well. But we ended up getting over the line. Regardless if it's Ange's football, if he changed his style or whatever, that's just, nitpicking about that whole season. That's a successful season in my opinion, because we managed to win a trophy. Now, for me, you sack Ange. That just tells this story. You're not ambitious. And is Glasner the one to take us to the next step? I have no clue, man. I have no faith. He hasn't actually even proven this. Look, again, Glasner's a good manager in terms of what he's done at Brentford. It's quite good, right? But to do that at Tottenham, I don't know, man. I'm struggling to.
DJ, hold your thoughts, because it's interesting how your point of view is different to me and Nige, probably people in the chat. Rich has come in and asked you a question. Do you
Go
think
for it.
17th and a trophy is any kind of footballing strategy? That's to you.
Of course not. However, Tottenham was 17 years without a trophy. So I don't mind one season of finishing 17th place. Okay, I don't know. Obviously, Rich, I'm a young Spurs fan. This is the first ever trophy that I've actually considered a trophy. I don't even class 2008 because I was too young, right? But this is the first trophy that I've actually experienced.
Yeah.
So for me, finishing 17th place and winning a trophy, I'll take that any time of the day. I was actually saying this 3 seasons ago. You know, if we can win a trophy, it's so important. He's finally done it. Who knows what he would have done on the 3rd season? The template is too small. The 1st season, he finished 5th. The 2nd season, in my opinion, he finished 4th.
So, did you enjoy yourself this season, TJ?
Absolutely not. I was Ange out. See, it's it's weird, isn't it? I was Ange out, but he brought me time. He realized, he said we need to change our mentality. And I think
it wasn't changing it, though, was he? Because we were losing every week.
We were losing every week, but we won the main thing. Doesn't that wipe all the other stuff up?
Not for
we
me.
won a trophy for 17 years. 17 years.
Oh, amazing. He's done a great job to do it. And it was, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs about the Europa League run was easy or whatever. But from my view, I mean, it just there wasn't enough progression. We were playing rubbish football. We were looking a complete mess. And the worry is, and the risk for me, is that if Ange would have started next season, it'll be the same old. And it's even going to be harder for him playing in the Champions League. And I didn't want to take the risk. I'd rather make a change now in the summer and get a better manager in who can organise a team better, have some better tactics. And look, Frank's not my first choice. I would have gone for Glasner myself. But Frank deserves a chance to step up, man. He's done a great job at Brentford. With a low budget, he's made them like a stable Premiership team. He's developed players. He's a coach. There's a lot to like about Frank. And look, he hasn't won anything, but he hasn't had the kind of chance, and he hasn't been at a club with given the tools to do that. And at Tottenham, he'll be given money with a bigger budget. He's already got a good set of players there. And I think that, there's a lot more to come from that group of players. We've got some talented youngsters. I think if the players believe in his system, I think, he will do okay. But that's just my take.
The problem is the players are not even going to believe in anything because, as you know, there was a lot of players that were heavily disappointed with the fact that Ange was sacked. The dressing room was supporting Ange. Ultimately, you want your dressing room to support the manager in charge.
Yeah.
And for me, look, like I said, I was Ange out for a very long time. I only changed you're going to say flip-flop or whatever. I only changed my view on the basis of he brought time.
Yeah.
I was willing to give him another season.
TJ, is there any chance that you said yourself that you were Ange out until that final and then we won and it changed your mind? Is there any chance that maybe the players were the same? Maybe they were Ange out before that final, maybe winning that final. Maybe a few of them might have thought, okay, we can get behind this manager. Because from what I saw in the league, leading up to that cup final, most of the players had checked out. And whether that was because they're all just playing for the cup, I don't know. But it just didn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me how so many of these players have come out now acting like Ange was kind of like amazing when during the season they clearly weren't playing for him.
It's true. That's a fair argument. Maybe maybe it's my sentimental value of winning the cup, and obviously it's my first ever cup.
I get it,
My
TJ.
first
I
ever
totally get it, man.
experience.
I totally get it. I totally get where you're coming from, man. I do.
But see, this is the problem now. I just don't see. Okay, cool. Now
I don't
I
agree
don't
with it,
see.
but that's
I don't
I
see
get your
Frank.
opinion.
See, if it was Glasner, okay, sack Ange all you want. Yes, you can sack him. You're entitled to sack him, right? However,
Yeah.
bring a manager that's going to improve him,
Yeah.
improve upon what he's done. I don't see Glasner as that manager. Respectfully of what he's done at Brentford, for me, he's not improving. We're going backwards. If you was to say get Glasner, what did I say Glasner? I mean Frank. The fact that we're going in for Frank, or we've got Frank, I don't see him as an improvement. For me, the perfect manager would have been Glasner. If Levy come out after the final and he said, Ange is going, my direction is to go for Glasner, I wouldn't be complaining. However, the fact is, we were linked to Frank, we were linked to Silva, we were linked to all of these, I'm sorry, mid-tier managers.
So TJ, right? Because anybody who was going to jump on the show tonight, I had 3 questions to ask them. Right?
Go for it.
So I'm going to ask you one. This is the first question, okay? And I've seen it from your point of view, so I've kind of adjusted the question to different viewpoints, okay? So this one's for you because you don't think Frank is the right guy. So if Poch was a gamble back in 2014, shouldn't Frank be given the same chance?
All right, I'm going to answer. Poch was a failure. Poch was my favorite manager. Poch was a failure. So he didn't achieve nothing. We didn't fall over. We didn't win over the line. As much as he took us from where we were, we didn't get over the line. Ange got us over the line. So in my opinion, the gamble, you can gamble on whatever you want to gamble on. It won't make a difference. You're not improving Tottenham.
So your trophies or nothing, really. If you're not worried about the good football, you're not worried about the league position.
100%.
You're
Football
all
is
about the trophies.
Football is about winning trophies. You don't start playing as a young person. 100. I don't care about that. To be honest with you, even when you're playing as a kid, you're playing for trophies. You're playing for medals. You're playing for the desire to win things. You don't play just for the sake of playing.
Okay. All right. Look, not everybody can win a trophy, right? It's difficult, right? It's very difficult to win trophies. Yeah, but you need the number of things to change at board level, right? First of all, they need to go and buy top players and pay the wages, which we don't do. So we've got to be realistic as a Spurs fan. You know, what can we actually enjoy supporting our club? And that's good football, attacking football, hopefully, winning football. Yeah, watching a team develop. You know, some kind of, you know, get behind them. You can, like Poch, where everybody was behind Poch. Yeah. We enjoyed ourselves week to week watching our team. Yes, we didn't get it over the line. We came close. We made a Champions League final, finished top 4 a number of times. We were a respectable side. We competed week in, week out. Nobody wanted to play us. We could beat anybody. And all of those things are other than, winning a trophy. It's not just about winning trophies. Obviously, we'd all like to win trophies, but we've got to be realistic.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Now, this is depending on how you see football, right? What's your ambitions as for supporting Tottenham? Where do you want Tottenham to be?
If it was for me, I'd be wanting to win the league, Champions League, winning the cups.
100%.
Yeah,
agree. I agree.
You can't do that under Levy. TJ.
Oh no! That's where you're wrong. No, that's where you're wrong. See, the fact that you have said you can't do this because of Levy, there's a problem.
Because the evidence shows that he doesn't do it. He doesn't put the money on the table. Hasn't got the ambition.
So why settle?
Well, no, I've been to the protests. I'll be going back to the protests. It's not good enough. The last 17 years, it's not good enough.
No, what I mean by why settle, by you saying Frank is okay. I'm not saying this literal, but I mean like you're settling for okay, cool, maybe having good football, playing a good style, but not winning trophies is acceptable. Why settle?
It's not acceptable, but it is just being realistic as a Spurs fan. This is what we've got. This is what we've
I
had
think
under them.
I think we've got every chance at winning trophies under Frank. I don't see it as we're bringing Frank in and well, that's it. We might as well give up. We'll go for top 7 or 8, and that's it. Why can't we do both? Why is it always got to be either a trophy or a league finish? Why can't we
Because,
do both? We are supposed to
because
be Tottenham Hotspur, and we did nearly do it under Poch. You know, we were very
because
close.
I'll tell you why not. I'll tell you why not. Because there's no ambition from the top, so it reflects
We all
all the way
agree that,
down.
TJ. We all agree that.
And
all
for
of us
me,
understand that.
For me, this is what this shows. I said it earlier. By you sacking Ange tells me that you're not ambitious to win trophies. You will settle for top 4. I don't care about top 4, man. What does top 4 do for me?
I
I'm a
totally
fan.
get that. I totally get that. If we'd finished 8th, you know, out of the European places and won the Europa League, and then Andrew got sacked, I would agree 100%. But I just think the league form can't be ignored, and I think that's the main reason. That's the only reason he's been sacked. If he had finished 8th or 9th, I don't think we'd be having this conversation now.
That's true.
So let's go back to the question.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't know if you answered it. Do you think Frank should be given the same chance as Poch? Because obviously, look, he's just managed Brentford. He hasn't managed anyone else. A couple of Danish teams. Poch came in. He hadn't won anything. He was at Southampton. You know, not everybody was happy when he took the job. Poch, people were doubtful about him. But he came in and done a respectable job as a Spurs manager under Levy. He overachieved under Levy because Levy never backs managers.
I don't know. Look, it's a hard question to answer because my ambitions are higher than Frank. I'll be honest with you. And
yeah, but just answer it. Do you think he should be given the opportunity?
Of course. Okay. I think Frank is a good enough manager to get that chance, and obviously Tottenham's the right club for him. But will he succeed? I don't think so. Under this ownership, nobody will succeed. The mentality is wrong.
Yeah, it's not good enough, TJ. I agree with you. We all agree. We all understand the situation with the board that we want them out. We want them out. We want more ambitious owners coming in and taking over the club. I think we can all agree with that, TJ. Right? We're all on the same page there.
Yeah, 110%. Now, if Frank was to finish 17th place and not win a trophy, are we going to be screaming Frank out?
Okay, so let's do the next question, right? So we've got another one around what you're saying, yeah? So hold on a second. Let's just get it up on the screen. So what, in your opinion, TJ, what's the benchmark for success under Frank at Spurs? I think I know what you're going to say, but talk us through it anyway.
Success with this ownership, innit? Clearly, they want to finish. They want to finish in the top half.
But
so
what you want, TJ. Remember, it's what
for
you
me,
want as a fan.
For me, he needs to win a trophy. In fact, you know what? For me to be on board with this Frank, he has to win us a trophy in the next 2 years. Next 2 years.
Yeah. So maybe, so say, for example, we qualify for the Europa League next season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're not winning the Champions League. We're not winning the Premier League. The Cups, we don't know. Depends on the run, the draw, who we come against. So realistically, say we finish in a respectable league position. What gets you Europa these days? What, 6th place, 7th place?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
so
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's obtainable next season with the right players coming in this summer, with the club making some progress under Frank and the players, getting used to his system. So say that we win the Europa. I mean, we qualify for the Europa. So the following season we'll be in the Europa. And why not? Why can't Frank win it?
Just to say, if that happens and Frank finishes 17th and wins the Europa, I still want Frank out.
Yeah,
because 17th isn't good enough.
Exactly, Nige. It's the same thing.
So
Okay.
so finishing 17th. Hold on. Can because obviously I've kind of like I wouldn't want it every single year. Okay, let me make something clear. If we're finishing 17th and winning a cup every year, I wouldn't want that. You would have to go. But there has to be some sort of success because we haven't seen success. Well, we've recently with us winning the Europa League, but we haven't seen success for 17 years. Ange managed to get it over the line. He deserves time. He did deserve time. He brought time. I just don't understand why a lot of fans can't see why he don't deserve us. He doesn't deserve that time.
I mean, again, TJ, it's down to individuals. You as a Spurs fan, what you want, right? Like me and Nige, we wanted Ange to go. You think he should be given another chance, and that's everybody's got their own opinions on it and different outlooks. You see it all over social media. There's such a split on Ange sacking.
A lot of it is to do with age as well, because my son was the same. My son was Ange out, but as soon as we won the Europa League, because he hasn't seen us win much, he was very much like he deserves a chance to stay. And I was like, what? No way. But every fan's different.
Yeah, that's it. It is, and and like TJ, you've come on here and you've given your reasons why, and I get that, man. I don't agree with it, but that's your view on it, and fair enough, man. Fair enough.
No. We're all entitled to our own opinions. It's just we're not gonna until we all come align and be like one opinion based. We're never gonna see football the same, man. Until the owners go, in my opinion, we won't ever truly succeed. We won't truly succeed.
100%.
They're holding us back.
They
are holding us back.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Oh, right. One more question for you, TJ. Yeah, one more question for you. Let's have a look. Let's see. What will be a good one for you? So, just so what you said, your expectation is that he must win a trophy in 2 years. You think he should be given a chance. So the third one, which one will be good for you? Let's have a look. This one. This was an interesting one. So this is more about the kind of footballing side, tactical side. Yeah. Have you watched Brentford? Have you seen many Brentford games since Frank's been in charge?
Yes, I have. They play two formations. They play a 4 at the back and then obviously play a 3 at the back against teams that are quite better than them. They go for a 3 at the back and they sit back. Okay. So they're really good in terms of in the transition. But yeah, what's the question that you're going to ask?
So you have seen them and you know how they play, and that's okay. That's good. So what about this one? Because this is what we're going to happen next season. Especially at home, teams are going to sit back against us. How's Frank going to deal with this? What's your thoughts on how Frank's style of play will break down the low blocks?
For me on how Frank. Okay, cool. So if we're gonna look, so most of the time, if we're gonna go against the Liverpools of this world or Man Cities of this world, he will definitely play a 3 at the back. It depends on who's playing within the team. If you take our current squad and let's just say, argument's sake, Romero, Van der Ven, and whoever is going to stay at Tottenham, right? We will play a lot of the count. We'll play on the counter quite a lot, and certain players in our squads like Son and Johnson as well will benefit through Frank's style. However, I don't see us taking a lot of risks. He's more of a pragmatic manager, like a Mourinho, like a Conte. Without the correct players, I don't know, man. I'm just heartbroken. I don't know, man. Spurs is just a lost cause. Spurs is a lost cause.
So how do you think he's going to break down the low blocks?
In terms of low blocks? I have no clue, to be honest with you. We don't have direct players, so we don't have like runners. that will run at our defense. At the defense, like Johnson, for example, he struggles to run at the defenders. Son's fallen off. I don't know if he's going to be here next year, but he doesn't like to run at defenders. In Frank's team, you need like a Mbemo, you know, someone that's going to drive. We don't have drivers. What players are in Tottenham that actual drive at the defense? Kulusevski, but is he gonna be playing on the wing? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm not a tactician. I just support Tottenham.
This is what I'm actually really excited about, is seeing how Frank would break down a low block side, because let's face it, he's managed Brentford and he's never really been at a club where sides are going to sit back against him. So for me, it's going to be really interesting. And that's part of why I'm really excited about a new manager coming in, just to see what he does. Because I got so bored of watching Ange just play the same way every week, regardless of who we're playing. So tactically, I'm really excited to see what Frank can do. It's going to be interesting. He may not be able to do it, but we'll find out, I guess.
There was a question in the chat. Let me go to Audio Artisan. I'll just bring it up. Frank said he doesn't like egos. Who can you see him having trouble with in this current squad?
Basuma.
He said, didn't he?
Basuma.
Do you think?
Yeah, he has a big ego.
We haven't got any kind of world-class players anymore, do we? We don't have any kind of big players like that. I mean, Maddison's got a bit of a mouth on him, isn't he? He's got a lot to say. You know, Maddison, he says what he wants. But we haven't got many of those kind of stars who are going to have the hump.
John says Spence in the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a bit of an ego. But
who's that? Spence.
John says Spence, yeah.
He does. But he's not made it, has he, yet, Spence? He's not. He's still kind of developing, and we're not that team. We don't have these world beaters anymore. We don't have the likes, you know, think back in the past, Janolas, Bales, Kane. We just don't have them, do we, anymore, really? Modric's.
No, and Maddison's not really, he's not really a big ego, is he? Yes, he seems like a really down to earth, like nice guy. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I think any big egos here ship out early doors, so we'll see.
He said he doesn't like dickheads or something. He said, didn't he?
Yeah,
no dickheads.
No
It
dickheads.
depends, but it also depends on what you class as a dickhead.
Exactly.
You know, because
That's true.
we're obviously picking players like I pick Basuma, right? And I see him as a big egotistic person, but it just depends on how you view a player, right? True. Whereas someone else said Spence, and for me, I disagree with that comment because I don't see Spence. I see Spence as one of my boys, like I would see him on the street, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think, obviously, it's the way you view football, right?
Yeah,
but we definitely don't have any like flashy players in our squad. I always say this thing: if you look at Pochettino's squad to the squad currently, how many of this current squad will walk into Pochettino's squad?
None.
And obviously, cutting out Son because Son is in that squad, right? But how many players would walk into Pochettino's squad right now? You can't even say one.
Yeah, let's go through it. Okay.
I mean, none would get in the team.
None. Nige, is it
None.
that clear cut for you? None.
No. If we're talking squad, then they'd all get in. But if just the bare 11, none of them get in.
First team, first 11. Okay.
First 11. None.
Vicario over Lloris?
No, he won't.
Okay. Doggy over who? Danny Rose?
No, he won't.
No. Okay. Van der Ven versus Vertonghen?
He won't.
Yeah, but like, he's younger, isn't he, as well? This is the thing, isn't it? Van der Ven's younger.
Vertonghen's a better player.
Yeah, because when we had Vertonghen, he was older, wasn't he? He was matured as a player. Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is it's hard to kind of compare. So the answer is Vertonghen. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
So then we're talking about Romero versus
Toby Alderweireld.
Toby.
Toby,
Toby.
110%.
Even if it's just for the partnership he had with Jan, you know, they just can't be split up.
Walker, Trippier over Pedro Porro. I would have Trippier and Pedro Porro. I would have Trippier and Walker over Pedro Porro right now.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with it so far. So no one so far. Let's go to the midfield. So who are? I don't know.
Bele, Wenyama, no chance.
No chance. Yeah, I think that's crazy, isn't it? Really, that's how kind of how we've fallen off. Not saying they're bad players. Yeah, I think they're better players than what we're seeing week to week. I
disagree with you. They're bad players.
I don't think they're bad players. Who's a bad player then?
For me, this is my opinion. Let me make this clear. This is just my opinion.
It's fun. It's fun, man.
Johnson's a bad player. As a player, he's got a trait that makes him score a lot, but as a player, he's a bad player. Papa Sarr is a bad player. Sorry?
Not even average.
He's average. Okay, cool.
Just straight bad.
But look at how far we have gone. Like we once upon a time we had one of the best squads in the Premier League, and now look at it.
True. So true.
So they're all bad players. TJ, in your eyes, do we have any good players?
They're not good enough.
No, but come on, just call
okay,
it.
Cool.
Good players. They can't all be bad in your eyes.
All right, cool. So from the definition of a good player to a bad player, there's only in our current squad, I would say Van de Ven, that's one.
Yeah.
Romero, that's two. Madison, maybe.
Porro. TJ, you got
over Ericsson. Come on. Wait, over Ericsson. Come on. There's no way you're gonna pass. You're gonna say over Ericsson. That's the standard I'm judging it off of. I don't know what standard you're judging it off of, but the standard I'm judging it off of, I'm judging it off of Pochettino's team when we were so close to winning things. That's where we should be.
Yeah, this team doesn't come close to Pochettino's team. Not even close. But we've got decent players now, but none that, and that's why I fallen out of love with the team. You know, because there's nobody that I look at and I think, oh wow, I can't wait to watch you on a Saturday. That's why I want us to get.
There's a reason why we're 17th place, my friend.
So exactly. I mean, TJ, man, you're killing me. You're killing me. So so let's just put it like this, right? Say you've got this team we've currently got next season, and you're thinking who can we build on in that kind of? Is there a spine there? I mean, it sounds like all to right, you, cool. TJ, there's nobody.
All right, cool. Put it like this, innit? Yeah, put it like this. Let's make it as easy as possible.
Go on.
Forget your ego. Take your Tottenham hat off, right? If you class the current top 4 teams in the Premier League right now, how many of our players are going to walk into their team?
Okay, you're asking me that, yeah?
Go for Liverpool first. How many players from Tottenham squad walks into Liverpool?
Into the first team or the squad?
First team, yeah. First team. We've got basing it off of first team. Obviously, squad you can obviously bring players in, but first team. If you can't pick a first 11, that just shows how far we're from where we want to become. Because you said to me about 10 minutes ago, your ambitions or where you would want Tottenham to be is to win the title, win the Champions League and all of this, right? And if you can't say, one player can walk into Liverpool, one player can walk into to Man City, one player can walk into Arsenal, one player, If you can't say them type of one
I
player,
think Romero, Van der Ven could play for Liverpool. I think Porro could.
over who?
If coached
Oh.
right, yeah. If coached right, I think.
Oh,
Doggy,
okay, so
if coached right, could get into the side. Yeah.
so
I think,
you said
Bentancur's a player, if played in the right system alongside the right midfielder.
over
could do
who?
it.
Over who? So you just said Romero and Van der Ven could walk into Liverpool.
They
Over
could
who?
play
Van
for them.
Dijk
I'm not
and
saying they're better players than Van Dijk, but they could play for Liverpool. I think they're good enough.
so they can be in the squad, but they
No.
won't take the.
Yeah, but come on, you can't compare Van Dijk, who's got so much more experience. He's older. You can't do a direct comparison to the likes of Van der Ven. He's still only 22, 23.
You're basing on potential, right? Okay, cool.
They could play for Liverpool. I think.
So you're basing on potential,
right
but
system.
right now, but this is my issue. Right now, the squad is not good enough. It doesn't lie. We're 17th place. There's a reason why we're 17th place.
A lot of it's down to the manager, in my opinion, TJ.
I disagree. It's down to the players as well.
Players came fifth the season before.
Under different circumstances.
Yeah, but they still finished fifth.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they finished fifth, but under different circumstances. For me personally, the squad that we have is not good enough. It's not good enough.
No, it's not
It's
good
far
enough, and it needs improving. But with a better coach coming in to improve these players, get a better style of play, we can jump up that league. We can compete.
Compete for what?
For first of all, the first stage is try and get back into Europe. So again, it's all down to the board, isn't it? It's the board's investment. We need to sign.
Forget the board right now. Forget the board right now. Are you saying that this squad can compete
with what?
So you're talking about compete at the biggest level, because that was what your ambitions were.
They're not good enough to win the league.
Exactly. So that's what. Okay, so if they're not good enough to win the league, we're far from the actual final product.
Yeah, because
are you not understanding my point?
So bad. We've been so bad under Ange. I think Ange. We've gone backwards under his coaching and his system.
What about under Conte? What about under Mourinho? What about under all Nuno? What about under all the managers? We are far from competing at the top level.
It depends what we've been in a steady.
We've been in a steady regression since Poch went. Even when Poch was here, his last 9 months, we've been in a regression.
No, I agree with that point. Every single year, apart from last year, okay, not last year, but this year, because we won something, right? From Pochettino to Ange, and he's just won something. He's done something more than Pochettino, in my opinion. That just proves.
Isn't it weird that we've been the worst we've ever been last season, but won something?
It's true.
But we were shocking all season.
But there is context to it, though. Guys, there's context to that, yeah? We were favourites for that Europa League at the beginning of the season, right? Yeah? Yeah, our squad, our team should be winning that competition. Look who we played. Frankfurt, which is a tricky game, yeah? But they're not the best side in Germany, right? We beat them just about. Bodo Glimt, we should be beating them every day of the week, yeah? And Man United, we faced one of the worst Man United teams in history. So come on, there is context to that win of that Europa League. Great achievement, yeah? But still, look at the teams we played, TJ.
There's context, of course, right? There's still context with the fact that we had so many injuries, right? There's context in terms of how Ange actually said that he threw away because he wanted to win something. There's context in a lot of things. There's ifs and buts and maybes on a lot of things. My point is this, isn't it? This is just my main point based on what we're talking about. We're so far from where we should be. Even our squad is bad. You can't sit down and say to me Van der Ven walks into Liverpool's starting 11.
Yeah, I think if Van Dijk weren't there, I think Van der Ven could do it.
if Van Dijk weren't there, right? But
because
he's
he's
still
older,
there.
he's more experienced. You know, his course is going to get chosen over Van der Ven. But say Van Dijk retires, yeah, and they need a
Yeah,
left centre back. Why
yeah.
not Van der Ven? Yes, this season he's been injured a lot, but I think it's a player with a lot of potential. I think we saw him last season what he can do. I think he's a good player. I just think that the system hasn't suited him. The high line, he's got injured all the time. You know, no protection in front of the back line, no defensive midfielder. You know, we're pushing up high all the time. We're so open. Van der Ven's running back every minute. We don't have a control of the midfield.
Quick
So the
question.
ball, we're losing the ball. It's getting turned over time and time again. We're on the back foot. There's so many issues tactically with how Ange sets up the team, TJ. Surely you
Yeah.
see that.
Quick question. Yeah, no, quick question. I just want to see what your view is so I can kind of like get a better understanding of how you see football.
Of course.
All right, cool. So our back four, I assume you want to keep all of them, right? You don't want to sell any of them.
I would improve them if we had the ambition.
Right.
I would.
Cool. So if we could improve on our back line, who would you improve on? Like what?
Left back.
Left back, you would get a better left back.
I'll get a better right back, a more defensive right back who can defend and attack.
All right, cool. All right, so okay, cool, fair enough. So you're not saying with the final article, fair enough. Because I've spoke to a lot of fans, and no kidding me, I've tried to say this is where other teams are and this is where we are, and they've said our back line is the best in the Premier League. I thought that's what you were going to go on, and I was going to be like, okay, cool, fair enough. I can't win this argument.
That's
it's silly. A circle, like yeah. I just wanted to. I wanted to know if you can improve on the back line, but fair enough. Cool, you've just answered my question. It's
of course
fine.
you can. Of course you can.
Yeah, fair.
Look to improve the keeper as well, if possible.
Yep. 100%. Vicario is look right now. He's not a big problem. Let's make it clear. Because I'm going to upset a lot of fans.
Quickly, guys, I just want to jump in quickly. You know, Paul, big up, Paul, evening to you. I say it's more the players getting it over the line than Ange. What's your guys' take on that? The Europa League final.
I actually agree with that. I actually agree with that comment. However, I also agree that Ange changed up his style. So he changed up his style for Europa League. He didn't play this attacking high line football. We played pragmatic. If it was forcefully or made whatever, of course we don't know. He hasn't actually come out and say, "Oh, this is why I decided to play like this." Right? But
he didn't have the attacking options, did he? Didn't have Maddison, didn't have Kulu, so he had to adapt.
Of course. So you can kind of say Ange got it right as well.
He got it right. Of course he did. Of course he did. He got it right. He's the manager, right? He sets up the team for those games. That quarterfinal against Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt, and Man United. He changed tactics. Yes, the players brought into that change. The players wanted it. They put everything into it. They knew there was a chance of winning the trophy, and they grabbed it. And to be honest, they should be winning that trophy. With the teams we're playing against, with the level of quality player we have, we should have been winning that trophy.
As much as I've wanted Ange out all season, I can't diminish the fact. I can't then say, "Oh no, it was nothing to do with him in the final." He's got to take responsibility. As much as he takes responsibility for the league, he's got to take responsibility for winning the cup. So I give him credit for that.
Goldston said, "No credit for Levy for winning Europa."
A little bit.
TJ, you're not giving him no credit, are you?
Nah, man. Nah, you don't deserve any credit, man. You're starting to have to tell you off air as well, by the way. I've got some juicy inside information. I can't say on air in it because
are you in the WhatsApp groups?
What WhatsApp group are you in? I'm in quite a few. Tottenham away. Cool. Yeah, I'll let you guys know. There's something, as you know, there's somewhere right working it, but something very interesting come up on my meeting. I can't say here because
Yeah, fine. But yeah, just put if you can share it in
Yeah.
another group. Yeah, share it there, man. If it's if you want.
very, very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Nice.
Adams.
This is ultimately another reason why I believe Levy's not ambitious. Not because I'm saying it because I'm a fan, but there's also other reasons why I say it. He's shown to me he don't care about football.
I agree.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. I agree, man. He doesn't. He doesn't do enough. For me, he doesn't do enough. He hasn't done enough. Yes, 2 trophies in 24 years. It's not good enough for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Pull it out until Jan, big blow.
That's quite a while, eh? You've got a serious injury.
Yeah.
Let's go to the
Spend
chat.
some
Let's
money.
see what people are saying. Big up, Randy. Brentford faces low blocks against some lower tier sides. There's coaching video where Frank explains difficult tactical situations, including beating the low block. So yeah,
Nice.
it's true. It's true. So he has set pieces as well. He likes working on them. I think again, TJ, Nige, and people in the chat, we do need better wingers. We need direct wingers, players who can take on a man, make something happen out of nowhere. You know, have a shot, score a goal. You know, be more of a goal threat. I mean, Johnson, he scores goals, right? He's our top goal scorer. He's in the right place at the right time. But against the low blocks, we don't see him taking on a man. And then you look at Son. Son probably needs to go. You know, his time's up. We've got Wilson, potential. We don't know. Mikey Moore, potential. Go on, Nige.
Did you hear or see the interview with Son today
No.
when he was asked about his future? And he was didn't really give a lot away. Son usually is very much like, I've got a year left on my contract. I'm staying at Spurs, they're what I'm focusing on. But he was very much like, well, I got a year on my contract, wherever I'm playing, I'll give my all. It's almost like he wasn't committing himself to anything. So I think he might leave.
He needs to go. TJ, do you agree? Son's got to go now, hasn't he?
Oh, 100%. He should have gone 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
No kidding me. Listen, you're going to see me online. I promise you, I don't come up with these things just yesterday.
Because we could have got more of a transfer fee for him, DJ. Is that
100%.
What you mean?
You see when I'll tell you something. I was on Haz's channel about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, in fact. When Kane was linked to Man City, I was the only one saying, sell him right now. Let him go. The same way I was saying, Son, you have to go as well.
Yeah.
Man, Son should have gone a long time ago. Kane got his move, he's gone, right? But Son is a big cash pool. That's the reason we're keeping him at Tottenham. Without Son, this club would be broke.
Well, hopefully we get a lot of blonde-haired Danish people in the crowd from now on. And might be worth going to watch a few games.
Big up to Yudo 67. He says, evening panel, just tuned in. What was Poch's first 11 in his first game?
No idea.
First 11 in his first game.
Eunice Cabal, wasn't it?
I'd imagine Tarat or someone like that would be in it. I don't know, actually.
Basically, I think what he's saying is that, when obviously Poch initially took over, he got rid of a lot of players, didn't he? And then he started bringing in his own players. Then he promoted players to the first team like Mason, Bentaleb, Harry Kane got into the side, Ali, Ericsson was already there.
I'm going to give you the first 11. It was Lloris, Carl Norton, Eunice Cabal, Eric Dyer, Danny Rose, Etienne Capoue, Nabil Bentaleb, Christian Eriksen, Aaron Lennon, Eric Lamela, and Adebayor. That was his first 11.
Damn. How long is it going to take Frank now? Because now we have to start over. That's another thing as well. We have to give him like 2 years as well.
Yeah.
If we don't get the ball running in his first share, we have to be patient. This is another problem about sacking managers.
Thing is, I think we all know we're probably going to be here in 2 years' time again, don't we? Regardless.
Yeah,
Think.
look, we know what it's like being a Spurs fan, isn't it? You know,
Uh,
we know where this how this story ends. TJ, a question for you. What about
Mhm.
after the players have been coached?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? After they've been coached?
Nige,
Do you think
do you
they'll
know
be
what
improved? Do you think the players will get better after they've been
Look,
coached? Because I think a
let me
lot of
make it
fans say that they've not improved under Ange.
okay. Oh, okay, cool. So is that what you're basing it on? Off of? No, I'm not saying out like Van der Ven and Lucas Bergvall and all of these players that are young, up and coming. They're not going to improve. No, they are definitely going to improve. They have a big ceiling. But my issue is my issue is the squad right now is just not good enough and not at the level of where I want Tottenham to be. If I read this comment in the next 5 years and Lucas Bergvall turns into the world-class talent that he could become, then fair enough. If Van der Ven decides to stay at Tottenham, which for me, can I be honest with you? If I'm a player right now, why would I want to play at Tottenham? Why would I want to stay? Why would I want to stay? What's making me stay? You got all the other teams winning things, right? And then you're seeing your manager, whether it's emotions, I don't know. He's just won a title when everybody said it was not possible that Tottenham could do this type of thing. So, not a title, but a Europa League. When I say title, you get where I'm coming from. Fill in the gaps, right? But why would a player want to play for Tottenham? We're not going to attract the good players. We don't have the ambitions to spend the money. We really don't. Levy cares more about making money than losing money, right?
They not work both ways though. Just playing devil's advocate. That can you, as a player, can you not think, well, actually, they just won a cup, but they've still sacked their manager because he's not good enough. Maybe players will think, actually, that's the kind of club I want to join. Someone who's got more ambition than just to win a cup.
If you were a player and you looked at Tottenham's track history, are you saying sacking a manager after he's just won a trophy in 17 years is a good response? I would, if I was your agent right now, I'll tell you, you're having a laugh. You're wasting 5 years.
No, but come on, TJ. Like Ange got sacked because of the league performance. That's why.
Regardless of if he deserves to get sacked. I would look, like I said, I was Ange out. I'm not saying I wasn't Ange out. I wanted Ange out as well. However, my issue is who you replacing him with. You're replacing him with Frank.
Yeah, and you don't rate him, and you don't rate Frank, and you want better. Yeah.
I want better, yeah, 100%.
What about this comment, TJ? It says TJ lives in the extremes. Do you get what he's saying, John the Fisherman?
I live in the extremes. I live in the extremes, yeah, 100%. I just want better for Tottenham.
Extremes.
Personally, I want better for Tottenham. I want us to be able to win titles, win Champions Leagues. I want to say Tottenham is that club. Cool, I live in extremes. To be honest with you, I'm a very hard cookie, to be honest. I want the best for Tottenham.
Yeah.
But we all want that, don't we?
Yeah,
we all want to win trophies, to win titles. But are we not at that stage where we need to? It's almost like a fill-in, someone to come in and steady the ship before we move on to the next level.
Yeah,
I don't think any of us think that Frank is the manager. But as has been said in many shows, maybe he's the one before the one.
Look, how many one before the ones were before the one? That's my problem. My problem is there's so many ones before the one. You know, I'm ones before. We're never going to be that guy.
TJ, man, I get where you're coming from, man. Being a Spurs fan is so frustrating. And we're a bit older than you, man. And we feel we hear what you're saying. Let's welcome in Brian. Evening to you, Brian. How are you?
Mate, I am absolutely brilliant. I am absolutely over the moon. Frankly, I'm on top of the world. You see what I did there?
Nice.
Honestly,
So, has it been announced, Brian, yet? I don't
Not
think
yet.
it has it?
not. Let me have a look. If Spurs said anything, let's have a quick check. Let's have a look if they have. Nope, not at the moment. I think it will be done tomorrow morning. I think by tomorrow lunch. Definitely by close of play tomorrow. I think Spurs will officially announce it, and then we get going. I am so excited. I've wanted this guy for a long time, and I think we have. I don't think people realise what we've got here. That's where I am with it. I wanted him before Ange came in, and I am just absolutely delighted that we've got him.
No, I get what you're saying, Brian. I like Frank. I do. I wouldn't say it's my first choice, but I think he deserves the chance to step up at a bigger club. I like him. There's so much I like about Frank as a manager. You know, you never see him having a go at the fans. You never see him blaming referees. You know, he's got tactics. He switches up the style of play depending on the opposition. There's a lot to like about it. Can he do it at Tottenham? We'll find out. Now, Brian, anybody jumping on tonight, we have 3 questions to ask them. Are you happy to answer some questions?
Of course I am.
Yeah.
Interrogation.
Let's have a go. This what's going to be good for Brian. Okay, let's try this one. This is quite a good one. Let's try this. So, Frank's never managed a club with top 6 expectations. Do you generally believe he has the authority and experience to manage the challenges at Tottenham? It's quite a tough one. It's quite a loaded one.
It's quite a loaded one, and I'll just say absolutely 100 billion % I do.
Why?
Absolutely 100 billion %. I think, listen, first of all, top 6, maybe not in first season. I said top 8 and above. People have got to remember that Thomas Frank is coming into I don't know why people. I remember back in the day when we got Poch, Maria. Top 4 was a valid attempt to do it, especially after what Poch had done and where we were. Since that time, we've fallen far behind again. I've said it's like we're back to Martin Yole and we need to rebuild again. And Martin Yole started that rebuild to get us where we were. We have fallen so far behind. And during that time, the top 6, maybe not so much Forest, but Forest have had a tremendous season. They have got so much stronger. They have got owners that have put money into the football club. Newcastle will go again. Everyone will go again. We've got some building to do. And Thomas Frank, for what he's done at Brentford, how he develops players, which we haven't been able to do recently, loses stars year in, year out through no fault of his own, just because they have a great season and Brentford, they need the money to keep reinvesting into new talent. His ID for finding talent and developing them is second to none. Absolutely can Thomas Frank do it. Thomas Frank won't foul Tottenham. Tottenham and Levy will foul Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
Simple
I
as.
agree. No, good answer. So you've got a lot of confidence in him, Brian, which is good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good because look, he has done a remarkable job with Brentford. Like, come on, like he's kept them up in the Premier League. He's made them competitive. They've beaten top teams. They've, as you said, the coaching, the players. He plays different styles of play. I mean, TJ, you think he's more defensive, but we'll come back to that in a second. But they scored a lot of goals last year, Brentford.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the players he's developed there. Mbeumo, Wizza, Tony, I know he's gone now. Pinnock, Henry. You could go through that side. What's that midfielder who plays for them, which I'd love at Spurs? What's his name again? The one in the middle?
Damsgaard.
And there's another one as well. There's another guy.
There's Norgard, who's the captain.
That's it. Norgard, yeah. Defensive midfielder. He plays with a defensive midfielder. That's what we've been all crying out for. That we hear from the club that's what they want to sign. And number 6, we desperately need it. So look, let's ask the question to the chat. Let's ask TJ, Nige, you can answer it as well.
Can I say one thing on this? With what you were saying with Frank as well, people that are saying Frank's defensive, Frank's this, he's pragmatic. For a defensive team, his front three scored over 50 goals this season.
Yeah, 4th highest goal scorers.
And look at us. Look at us, who are meant to be this attacking team that go full on attack. Obviously, we can talk about whatever you want to do. But I think a lot of the things people are actually saying, go watch a tactics video done by the Premier League with James Alcott, where it shows how the first part of this season, Brentford were the most ruthless goal scorers that had the biggest XG conversion rate. Not I hate XG, but Brentford were the most informed team in the Premier League at home. It's a myth that what he does is Thomas Frank adapts to the team he's playing. If he needs to be defensive, he'll be defensive and try to counter-attack or try other methods. But when he doesn't, he can be ruthless. And there are so many people that think he is not attacking, where when he does attack, he is devastating.
Do we have the players?
Yeah, well, for him to develop, there's a host of players that will play. But there are so like if you watch it, if you go and watch and do, I've put loads of videos on our community section. One of the ways he gets it is when people are on the attack, he loves to cross early, and he always has 3 players in the box. Solanke will be in the box a hell of a lot more. We've all said Solanke thrives on service that he wasn't getting. He'll be getting it. Maddison will be playing differently. The wingers, Brennan Johnson, watch Brennan Johnson score more goals next season than he did last season because he'll be playing more central. There's going to be such a change in the way we play. Obviously, the transfer market we bring in is going to have an impact, but there are players he can develop there, and I will not doubt or query Thomas Frank developing any of those players, because you see what he does time after time at Brentford with players nowhere near the level of players he's going to inherit at Tottenham.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can't wait to see what Frank can do with his Tottenham side. Forget any players we might sign. I think we're going to see a different Maddison. I think Solanke will get told not to come out to the ball. He will be told to be in and around the box for crosses.
Yep.
I can't wait to see what Frank's going to do with them. I think we are going to look so much better under this manager.
I do hope so. I do hope your fate isn't the right man, because I don't know, man. I just look. I don't know. I just feel like it's a step sideways or step backwards. You know.
But why, TJ? Why do you think it's sideways?
For me,
yeah,
he wasn't the manager that I wanted. I wanted Glasner personally, but I look. Hello, can you guys hear me? Sorry about that. Back in. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean. Yeah. What I was saying, for what he's done at Brentford, phenomenal. Let's not play it down. I said that about an hour ago. Amazing. You know what he's done but will it work at Tottenham? I just don't think it would. I don't think we have the crop of players like how Brentford, because for me, you're talking about Son, you're talking about Johnson. I don't think Johnson runs at the defense.
When he's been playing out wide, it's not where he needs to be. He needs to be inside forward or shadowing Solanke and being around, buzzing around there, like he did in Notts Forest, being a counter-attack and running into space. He will be used completely differently by Thomas.
I think Solanke, look, I'll give you Solanke. I think Solanke will improve massively, you know? It's just I'm not confident with the group of players that we have right now.
Okay, so TJ, were you one of those people last season that were going, last season, if we had a better coach with this team, we'd be much higher up?
At the start, I was. Yeah.
That's what Thomas Frank is.
Yeah.
That's what Thomas Frank is. We needed a coach that will be on the training ground Have you, TJ? Have you been watching all the videos on Thomas Frank?
I've literally no. You know what it is? I've just come back to streaming today, innit? So with what I've seen on Thomas Frank is personal games, innit? I've seen previous games, but not too much like in-depth analysis on how he plays and what he does, right? However, from what I've seen is he plays with a back three and a back four. So he can pivot depending on what teams are in front of him, right?
Yep.
And he's predominantly a counter attacking team. So that's what I've seen. He plays on a counter. My issue is with the players that we have, I just don't know if they're gonna be up for that type of playing type of style, you know?
He adapts his game. What you need to do is go and watch. TJ, put your number in the private chat, and then I'll WhatsApp you a load. So it'd be good to keep in contact with you anyway. I'll send you a WhatsApp.
You know what? I think I've got your number already, man. I'll drop you a message after. Yeah.
If you go and listen, forget what he's doing in games, which is obviously you can see, and he's doing it at Brentford. Watch the videos where he's doing podcasts, interviewing about him, the man, him, how he sees football to be played, him, how you will change your mind. You will change your mind.
I actually think probably some of Spurs' best games last season also was when we were on the transition and counter-attack.
Yeah.
So if we set up that way, I'm more than happy. I can't wait to see what Frank does. I was the same as you, TJ. A couple of weeks ago, I was very much like, I'm not sure about Frank. I would much rather Glasner. But the more I've seen, the more I read, and the more I watch, I'm just like, he fits Tottenham to an absolute T. Yeah. I think he's perfect for us.
He is. Like I said, it would have been good. Listen, would we have loved Xavi or the big managers with the big names? Unfortunately, people, the way we have been run and the state of the club at the moment, they don't want to know. They know what will happen at this football club. They know the shelf life of this football club. They will demand the big players. Conte and Mourinho never get them. And look at their CV. Unless there's been a huge takeover, which we still don't know, we've got to be serious. Tottenham Hotspur are a very big football club. And a few years ago, under Pete Poch, we were a sleeping giant awaking where we could have strengthened and gone on to glory. We're not there at the moment. We're a wounded animal that's trying to heal.
We're far from the team that we once were.
Exactly. And forget on the pitch, off the pitch, attraction-wise, yes, we've got Champions League football, but we've been a circus with managers, recruitment, injuries, and Frank utilize it, and Frank will nullify all that. And listen, I understand people weren't or still aren't maybe on board or seeing what I've been seeing or other people have been seeing, but I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah, I think that cup victory has. I know a lot of people say it's papering over cracks. I think it's like a massive hole in the road and someone's just stuck some tarpaulin over it and a couple of bricks. That cup win is. There's a massive crack in Tottenham and that massively papered over it. We've got so much work to do.
Yeah.
But Frank is a good start. Frank is a really good start.
Correct. And apparently he's bringing a lot of his backroom staff, which is vital. And normally Tottenham mess about with this and say, oh, yeah, you can bring only one or two or whatever. This is what I think. I think it's all done and dusted, but what's held it up was getting everyone in on Frank's team. And if that's happened, fair play to the club for having their target, going, getting it done immediately. And now we can deal with it. Now we can get the man in charge. I was so looking forward to this summer of just relaxing and having no football and just being, do you know what, we're going to fuck this up. I can't wait for the season to start. I can't wait.
You know, my biggest issue with how this has all panned out is the fact that it's taken so long to appoint this manager. If whoever is making the decision, if the owners knew that we were going to sack Ange, why has it taken so long just to pick a manager in the first place?
There's two sides to it, TJ. There's why did we wait so long to sack Ange? But you can't. What I will say is in Tottenham's lifestyle. Apart from I will say Tottenham's actually acted very quickly. We sacked him Friday. Got the here we go on a Tuesday. Take the weekend out of that and everything. I think Spurs have moved very swiftly to do it. I think they could, if they'd sacked Dan sooner. Big up. I know who he is. I'll get back to your message very, very soon. But I think Spurs have actually acted swiftly. They had one target. They've gone for him. They've got him. Normally, there's a few days messing about with compensation, release fee, whatever terminology you want to use. Spurs have acted swiftly to get him since his departure. I think the way, TJ, they handled Ange's departure and delaying it was shambolic.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'm getting both of them mixed up because to me, this is how I saw it. Well, we all knew from even before the final, it was make or bust for Ange, right?
Yep.
So if you're putting all your eggs in that one basket, you would have obviously made a decision to say, okay, if he does lose it, sack him. If he does win it, keep him or whatever, right? But they took around 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's now we're in our third week now to make this decision finalize, you know? Well, 2 weeks, or I think it was 2 weeks, if I'm correct. It's been about 2 weeks because the window's closing soon, right? The start of the window's closing. So
the first window.
yeah. So it's around 2 weeks now. They've taken so long to decide to sack Ange and then obviously appoint this next manager, you know? I'm not against sacking. I'll make it clear again. Yeah, cool. Maybe Ange bought me time. That was my opinion. We're all entitled to our own opinion, right? It's just the way these owners have run this club. We're like Looney Tune FC. Every single year, different. There's no hope. There's no hope for Tottenham. And what is our targets now? We have to start again. Another 2 years in the making. How long is it gonna be until we win another trophy? This is another question. Go for it, my friend.
I feel totally the opposite, mate. I understand your frustration. I feel for the first time in so long, I feel totally. Maybe it's because we've just finally won a trophy, and it's like that monkey's off our back. And now I go into the season fresh with a new manager, hopefully a new style of play. I'm just really looking forward to what next season might bring. And actually, with the shake up at the board as well, board level, I'm excited that maybe something might be changing out there too. I know you might think differently, you might know differently, but you know, at the moment, I'm excited.
Let's ask another question to Brian.
Let's do it.
What are your minimum expectations for Frank's first season?
Joe, I've said this on a few streams and obviously mine and Twitter. My expectations for this season would have been the same if it had been Frank, Glasner, Xavi, and Postecoglou. To get us back into the top 8 of the table. Obviously, you can reflect on that a little bit more after the window shuts. To get out of the group stage of the Champions League. To really, 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 really go for the FA Cup. I want that cup back in Tottenham's trophy cabinet so badly. It still holds as much magic for me now as it did 91, 87 when we lost to Coventry. I want that cup back in Tottenham colours and at the stadium. And with the Carabao Cup, you've got to remember this is Thomas Frank's first season juggling Europe and the elite Europe of all that. Use that to rotate, play the youngsters, fringe players, assess them, whatever. Carabao Cup, I don't care. I'd love to obviously go and win it, but top 8, get out of the group stages, win the FA Cup, or go far in the FA Cup. Obviously, win it would be incredible. But that would
be minimum, Brian. Is that your bare minimum? He has to finish in the top 8.
Yeah, Premier League wise, has to finish in top 8.
And what about if he doesn't win a trophy but comes semi-final? What's acceptable? Quarter-final?
I'm not going to say that everything is unacceptable because obviously 17th in the league. Not that we will get there. We all say we need to give. We all say whether we like the manager or hate him, he needs 4 windows. He needs this. He needs that. We got to be the same with Frank. I think he can get us in the top 8. 100%. 100%. I think he can do it. After the window, I may reflect on that, may move it to say top 6 or whatever.
What does he need, Brian? What is key things this window for Frank? What are the 3 key positions and the level of quality of player he needs to deliver what you've said?
I've said, in no particular order, but 3 positions I think we really need. Straight away, number 6. I think everyone we ask will say a number 6. Yeah. Who that may be, don't know, but we need a number 6. We need a right winger. And I've said, I think what we need is another left back. And the reason I say we need another left back is obviously you've got Spence and Porro and Destiny, but you can't keep going Spence right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. I'd like us to have another fullback. So it would be like Walker and Rose, Trippier and Davies. So there was people. I think we need more, but I think those are the 3 that we desperately need to target.
Yeah. I think about right. Yeah, 3 key players. So left back, defensive midfielder, and a winger. Did you say, Brian? A right-sided winger?
Yeah, probably a right-sided, yeah.
Who would be starting for you on the left then, under Frank?
I just don't know. I mean, it depends. I mean, when he plays 4-3-3, may it be Sonny? And will he bring Sonny in? Is he going 5-3-2? 3-5-2? What, 5-3-2? Whatever you want to say. The option, this is the thing. This is the great thing. We're now talking about, when you say, who do you think? You're thinking, well, it depends what system he's going to play. It depends if he's going to go attack-minded, defence-minded. Is he going to have 3 at the back or 4 at the back? The options right now, if you'd said it was Ange Postecoglou or someone else, you'd be like, right, they play a rigid system. We kind of know the player that he wants to play in that position. For me, it's up in the air. And I've said as well, any player he brings in, even if he brings in Tell, I'm backing him 100%. If he brings in unknown, we've said many a year that Danny Rose, we've had to Google players' names, and they've normally ended up really badly. Thomas Frank has a history of finding these players and his team. So if he brings in a player that I don't know, never heard of, not that my football knowledge worldwide is, I'm not going to go, oh my God, Levy's gone down the cheap route. You won't be hearing that from me this season. The only negative you will be hearing from me is about Daniel Levy this season. That's it. Obviously, if a poor performance, then we'll talk match reactions. But any player that comes in, I'm going to be, let's see what this guy can do, because this guy develops players. But so, I mean, my number 1 signing is, of course, Eze. I wanted Eze before Maddison. I love Eberechi Eze. But I think a right winger and a direct one at that is really important.
We should be knocking on Dortmund's door to get Adeyemi. He's right now playing in strike. However, he's phenomenal. He's fast. I think he's around 24 now. We should go. We should rarely be going for players like that. You know, young, up and coming, fast mentality. You know, right now his stats are quite low. He had a poor. I wouldn't say poor, but like he didn't really have a good season last year. But he's a phenomenal player, fast, quick. We need players that can run at the defense. You know, our problem is we don't have players that actually like to run at their players. I thought, can I be honest with you? Before Johnson came in, well, when we were linked to Johnson, I thought Johnson was going to be that person because he's quick. Well, the view I had on him, he's quick, he's agile, he's going to be able to just beat the man.
Okay, one sec, I'll be back.
For me, Johnson hasn't done that. You know, we need to go back onto like the template of how we used to have our wingers. Look at Lucas Moura, for example. Look at Leonard, for example. Townsend. You got wingers that are running, that are fast. They're just rapid. That's what we need right now.
100%, TJ. I agree. We need better. I don't think our forward line is great at all. I think it's pretty.
It's average. Yeah, no, it's average.
What about this? This Maita, is it? Maita from Brighton, the Brighton winger. I really like him.
Minter. Yeah,
The
he's
guy who
good.
come from Newcastle.
Yeah. Minter's quite good. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's rapid as well.
Mm.
Yeah. We
Mbeumo,
definitely
would you
need.
take Mbeumo if he's not
Oh,
going to Man U?
100%. No,
Yeah,
100%. For me, we need a DM. DM is so important. I actually, I can understand why you would want a left back or a right back to cover them positions, right? But for me, that's not necessary. The same way I say like the goalkeeper, it's not necessary because you can always improve them on a later stage. But we need a DM, we need a winger, and we could go with the Eze attacking midfielder because Kulusevski, this injury is not a good injury, you know. And that would. But the question is, would Levy go in for someone like Eze? I don't know, man. The standard is so low. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I don't
Eze
think I
has
said
to be the
my.
man.
Sorry, Nige. Would you say?
No, go on. No, I was just agreeing. Eze has to be the first signing for me.
Yeah, 100%. We must try and get him. So did I answer my expectations? I can't remember now, Nige. Did I answer it?
I don't think so. No.
So minimum expectations for Frank. Okay, so obviously we've got to improve that league position, yeah. Right, obviously. We've got to see some progression with the side, some improvement to the team, a system that's working. You know, we're not getting beat. You know, cutting down them losses. You look, obviously we'll lose games, of course, but you know it's got to be a hell of a lot better. So a respectable league position. You know, would I want European league position? Of course, but you've got to give Frank a bit of time. And then obviously depending on the transfer window as well, if he's backed like he needs it. Obviously we're in the cups. It's FA Cup, Carabao Cup. Of course, I'd love to win it, but depends on who we draw, isn't it? In the final or the semi-final. You've got to be realistic. This is Frank's first season. You can't compare it to Ange's first season because Ange had no Europe. So it can't be a comparison like that. So it's going to be progression, seeing a system working, not getting beat so easily, and trying to push for a European league position. And I think that's the minimum expectations for me. Just seeing the kind of something that's coming together, you know, throughout the season, players improving, you know, we just haven't seen it this season. So that's
Right.
I haven't got massive expectations for his first season at all. I just want to see it upward trajectory. Yeah. And then we go again, another transfer window, and then I would be setting new targets.
Correct. Like you look at it with Ange, you got fifth in the first season, and you thought that's a really, really respectable first season. You lose Harry Kane, and that's what you do. And all right, we can all talk about. I don't really want to talk Ange but the first 10 games obviously put him in a really good place, and he got fifth. And you're right. Okay, let's build from this. And obviously the transfer window was a bust, as it always is. And then it just completely, the wheels fell off, didn't it? We just jumped off a cliff. And that wasn't progressive. We've got to realise, the Spurs fans, don't start getting estimations. If anyone's there going, he's 1-0 and, oh my God, how's he going to get us in the top four? I don't think there's a manager on the planet that could have got us back into the top four. Because of the way we work as a football club. And it's like literally, what are you doing here? Look how big these top four teams will go this summer. Look how stable their team is. Look how much quality they have running through them. Whoever came in weren't going to get us back into the top four this season unless we had like the most remarkable season. So I think a lot of people need to.
Brian, are you hearing this? Are you hearing that people expect Frank to get top four?
Yep. Or say, no, I'm not hearing top four. They're going, how is Frank going to get us into the Champions League? How did he get us Champions League? They're also saying mid-table mediocrity. Well, mid-table is 8th. There's 17.
You know, my assessment for Frank. Can I just mention?
Yeah.
I don't really care about the first season. I care about the second season for me, innit? I'm basing it off of our previous manager. You know, I'm gonna give him 2 years. In them 2 years, he has to go through a cup run and, in my opinion, go get to a final. If he doesn't achieve that, it's a bust for me.
So let me put this into perspective very quickly, because Fabrizio Romano just now has given the here we go for 150 million euros for Liverpool to sign Verts. That's what we're competing with.
What a player.
They've smashed 150 euros down.
What a player.
That's what the big teams are doing. That's Liverpool, who are the champions, who have already gone and got what's his name from Frimpong. You look at Shirky, and they've got the other guy. This is what we're competing against. That's how far we're. Not saying Tottenham should go spend 150 million pound on a player, but this is what we're dealing with. This is how hard busting into the top 4 has become. It's insane.
When are we going to have the ambition like all these top clubs?
When Levy goes.
Yeah, we all know that, innit? Like, even me, when Levy goes, 110%. But surely it should click on in his head, like, everybody's moving past us. Everybody's moving past us. Every single year, everybody's getting better, and we're just getting worse. The signs are, like I said earlier, when you look at Pochettino's squad and you look at this current squad right now, we can't even say one player walks in. When I say squad, I mean the first 11. Let me correct myself before people start nitpicking on words I say. We can't even say one person walks into Pochettino's squad. That just proves of how bad this squad is currently. Tottenham. Here we go again.
This is the thing. This is why I'm saying people have got to really manage expectations here with Thomas Frank, because when the big teams around us are strengthening like that, we just cannot or will not compete at the moment. So when people are going, oh, mid-table and mediocrity, what are you expecting? Doesn't matter who comes in. This is another big thing, John the Fisherman. This is another, he wants to be there. That's Liverpool just going, if that's what the champions are doing, and people expect us to be able to expect higher, or not a chance. Not a chance. We've got to walk before we can run again.
It's about understanding the ceiling under Levy, Brian. Isn't
Correct.
It? As a fan, you know.
Yep.
We've fallen off it so much in the league, and we've got a lot of work to do. Frank's got a tough job on his hands, but if we can stick with him, you know, even through the hard times, there's going to be some tough moments. You know, we're going to go on a run of not winning games. I can see it happening. But we just got to hope he gets there eventually. And again, it's all to do with the backing and the board. And we've seen this story before. But look, there's a lot to like about Frank. Let's ask Brian one more question. I think I've asked you 2 so far, haven't I, Brian?
You have indeed, buddy.
One more. So this is what I'm hearing a lot on social media. Is Frank another Nuno? If not, why not?
Do you know what? I get what I've come with a term with it now. I'm calling it and rage, like road rage. I think there are so many people that are so upset with Andrew's dismissal, Andrew going, whether you were pro him or not him, that literally whoever came in charge, they were going to get absolutely. And some of the stuff I'm seeing about Frank coming in is just like, what are you talking about? He's not another Nuno. And even if he was, look at the season Nuno just had. At the start of the season, if we all said Nuno is going to do what he did at Forest, would you take that? We all would have. I don't understand. People said we want a coach. We get a coach. Oh, not that one. Oh, we need to play different formations. We need to be fresh and have new ideas. We get someone that does that. Yeah, not this one. We get someone that the thing I love what people are doing as well is saying, well, what's he won? The two things I've been said is, what has he won? And I'm like, well, when Spurs won the Europa League, we were favourites to win it. Doesn't mean you have a divine right to win it, but we were destined to go far in the competition. How many people turn around at the start of the season and go, who do you think is going to win the league, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup? And people turn around going, oh, yeah, Brentford. I think Brentford are going to win the FA Cup. Not a single goddamn person. Not a single one of them. I just, honestly, I don't... Some of the things I'm seeing and hearing, it just mystifies me. I think there is a unwritten rule in the world that if all Spurs fans agree, we all die.
Yeah.
We're all wiped out. Goodbye. See you later. Every single... If we all go, yes, really happy with this managerial appointment, and everyone turn around and say that, we all cease to exist. I just don't understand where people are getting.
You know what it is? Can I? Because for me, I'm one of the people that are. Look, I don't like I said before. Sack him. I was Ange out. Sack him if you want to sack him, but get better than him. For me, it feels like a sideways step. In my opinion, we're not improving. In fact, it's not a sideways step; it's a backward step. This is how I see it. Why I say it's a backward step?
Why do you think it's a backward step?
Oh, I'll give you my honest view. Ange got us top 5 first season, and in the second season, won us a major honor. In fact, like I said, was my first major honor. I don't really class 2008 as the major honor because for me, I was too young, right? But he managed to do the unthinkable that a lot of people thought Tottenham couldn't do. He broke the hoodoo. He broke Spursy, 17 years without a trophy. It's a massive thing. Okay, cool. Understandable that 22 losses in the season is terrible. Yeah, I know, 110%. I'm a Tottenham fan as well. Watching my team every single game, and I watched every single Premier League game. Every single Premier League game. Terrible. I'm not sugarcoating that fact. But I kind of understood his circumstance. He had injuries throughout the season. Yeah, he could improve. However, he also said he decided to throw away the Premier League and go straight for the cup, right? Cool, whatever. Now, you got Frank. And I'm not undermining what he's done at Brentford. I think Frank has done an amazing job for Brentford. For the likes of Brentford, yes, 100%. He's taken them from the Championship and he's made them an established side. Which, honestly, the way he plays, brilliant. But what Ange has done is more bigger than what Frank has done, in my opinion. And see, this is my issue now. This is just the issue I have. If you were gonna sack Ange, the person to bring in was Glasner, because Glasner has won the Europa League. Not only just the Europa League, he's won the FA Cup recently. For me, that was more of a like-for-like change in the right direction. That's why I see it as a step going backwards. But that's just my opinion.
Do you think Glasner turned the job down, though? He may have turned it down. He might have thought, I don't fancy working under Levy.
I don't know. If he turned it down, fair enough, innit? You can't argue with that, right?
Frank, Glasner versus Frank.
I know out of all the managers, Frank, Silva, and who else was it? There was another one. There was one more.
Bournemouth. What's his name again?
Amarim.
Yeah,
out of all the managers. Out of all the managers, I would take Frank. Yeah, 100%. I'm putting my hands up. I would take Frank if it was the case of Silva and all of them other managers. 110%. However, I wanted Glasner. But yeah, that's my 2 pence.
Frank. like I said, I've wanted him for 2 years. I am so happy. Do you know what I am looking forward to? I'm looking forward to people. TJ, I'll send you the videos when you watch me. I cannot wait for his first press conference as Spurs manager, like Jose Mourinho did when he said, "I go to bed in the pajamas," or Nuno said, "I'm proud," or whatever. I think when people actually, I think for a lot of Spurs fans, and this isn't me taking a pot shot, though, I think the first bit of Frank content they'll listen to us in an in-depth interview will be his unveiling as Spurs manager, because it is him talking about Spurs. Once you hear him talk, he is going to turn heads. Once you see his tactics take effect, he's going to turn heads. I think by Christmas, there will be, oh my God, we are so lucky to have him. It's an option. It's an option, Captain Hook. It is an option. There's so many options open now. The great thing as well with VDV, we bring in a number 6. Van de Ven isn't going to need to make a million blooming last-ditch runs. He's going to have some protection. He can control the sprints he does. It's going to keep him fresher.
Yeah, he's not going to do a lot of runs. That's true.
It's going to eliminate the strain on his hamstrings. There are so many. Obviously, if he plays left wing back at times, like Vertonghen did in that Dortmund game, then that might be an issue in certain games. But oh my, I can't. Honestly, TJ, we'll speak around Christmas again.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm a man of my word. I had to do an apology video for Ange. In fact, the first season, I wanted Ange gone, and he managed to win us a trophy. It's on Haz's channel. I had to eat a chili on camera to say, I'm sorry, Ange. I'm sorry, Ange. I doubted you. This is my apology video.
And now you're an Ange fan, TJ. And now you're an Ange fan.
And now I'm an Ange fan. Now, look, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather be wrong than right. I'm saying this on live right here. I'd rather be wrong than right, because at least then I know that, I'm deluded. They know what they're doing, But when I'm right, that's what hurts. Things like we're never going to be like Liverpool and Man City. And we're never going to be that club. Remember, when we started this conversation, I said, what's your ambitions for Tottenham? Where do you see Tottenham in the... I want to say we can win titles. We can win Champions Leagues. But can I really say that with the squad that we have right here? No. We're so far from where I want Tottenham to be. That's my problem.
Again, it's all to do with the board, man.
All right.
This is it. It's all to do with the board. Like, Potts done so well, right? He come close, but he wasn't backed in the final moments, was he? And that's all we can hope for with Frank, that he can get us anywhere near that type of level. Obviously, the style of play is slightly different, of course, but look, we as Spurs fans, that's all we can expect, really. It's sad. It is sad, but you've got to be realistic. It's what it's like being a fan.
And nothing will change until hopefully this new investment or new ownership along the line actually does come through. Sorry, my sleep is all over the shop at the moment. I'm a Frankaholic, John. Frankaholic is I've been the alcoholic. I've been many holics or addicts. I've gone full on Frankaholic. I'm going to check myself into rehab. I've got withdrawal. Honestly, we're with Frank is going to do. He will do the bit. I just can't wait. I've been on a kibosh, as you two know, Nige and Dan, from going on streams, because I was just disgusted by what was going on. I'm now going to start coming back and doing a few more and ramping Tottenham Tour up. I've just got...
Brian, tell people about your new show.
Oh, tomorrow we've got me and Eugene, who is not so much envious of or happy with this, but he's another one. He started watching stuff. He's coming around to things. We're going to be doing a show monthly. Obviously, we're going to do a show tomorrow with his announcement. It's going to be called To Frank or Not to Frank. And we're going to have a discussion every single month, reviewing the month gone by. From all things, from how he has been in the media and press conferences, to tactics, to transfer, all things Frank-centric. And every month we're going to have new guests on. But it's going to be done more along Canadian time of 6 p.m. my time, which will be 11 p.m. your guys' time. But obviously, you'll be able to watch it back. But there'll be a lot of Thomas Frank. Tottenham on tour and be back with a lot more content. Back once again, we'll have the Renegade Master, P4 Power. We're going to be back.
And do you know what, guys? I'm so happy this whole Ange thing's done now. Yeah, I'm so relieved that we know what's going on and it will slowly disappear. But we can just get behind our new manager. Everybody's kind of on the same page. I mean, obviously, people have got different expectations. People might not like him that much. But at the end of the day, we'll all get behind the team at the beginning of the season and we go again. No more silly Ange debates. Ange in, Ange out, shake it all about. It's done. It's so bad.
Yeah,
that was so difficult this season. That Ange talk was just driving you up the wall, wherever you sat on the fence.
Nice. It's something new to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just something fresh, something new. Like Brian, I can't wait. I can't wait to get started. I wish Spurs were playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want to watch them under Frank, see what we can do. New kit, new players, new manager. Bring it on.
Wait, the way I would say this is the most excited I have been for a Premier League appointment in our history, like from what I can remember. Conte, I was really excited, but I was excited mainly because I knew if things went south, he'll take Levy down and he won't go down without calling the board out. We needed someone to stand up to the board. Same with Jose. For an appointment to come and work on the field against Spurs where he wants to be, I am more excited for this than a host of managers, and I include Poch in that. I am people see me normally as oh my God, he's ranting about Levy again and he's always negative. Some people agree with me and don't think it's negative, it's realist. They're going to think, what have you done with Brian Daigle? Because he is super duper positive right now. And I am.
You're in front of the train, Brian, aren't you? Are you driving that train?
Driving the train, mate. I am the conductor. I am his basically, I am going to be what Sim was to Ange Postecoglou. I am going to be to Thomas Frank. You need to get through me to get to him. I'm going to get Thomas Frank pom-poms. I'll start becoming a Thomas Frank cheerleader. I am buzzing.
Oh, well, guys, we're going to wrap up shortly. Nige, did you have any questions for the panel and the chat? Anything you wanted to ask anyone?
I didn't actually. No, I'm just super excited about the coming season. So I'm looking forward to doing streams again. I'm looking forward to the transfer window. I'm hopeful, and I say it every year, that we actually sign some really decent players. Eze, please sort it out this year. It's been 2 or 3 years in the making. Let's finally get it over the line. And yeah, big up to the chat. Thank you so much for joining in. Big up to Brian and big up to Into Spurs as well. So I forgot your name then, mate. My mind's gone blank. TJ. Yeah.
It's all good, my friend. It's all good.
Look, guys, I mean, regarding content-wise, I'm not the sort of guy to come on and just do videos over nothing, because, there's all these transfer rumours and I know it's about being on there, but, I mean, unless there's something real, like we're close to signing or the medical booked or fee agreed, I'm not into the whole rumours thing. I'm like this. Nige may be a bit different, I'm not sure, but unless there's some kind of big story, big news, something worth talking about, I'm not going to be coming on every week, especially doing a live. I might do a little upload or a little video, but I just don't think there's enough to talk about right now. Nige, what would you think?
Similar. I'm a bit different. I love all the transfer rumours, but yeah, not worth doing a live for it, but certainly be putting out shorts and stuff like that. Keep people entertained, hopefully.
Yeah, like anything solid, anything worth talking about, possibly. But I mean, look, I'm looking forward to the break, the summer. Just try not to think about it for a bit. Obviously, look forward to next season, but yeah, it'll be nice to have enjoy time with family and things like that, and have a bit of a break because that season's going to come along quick, and we're all back into it, Guys, big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you for getting involved throughout the night. Big up to DJ to jumping on, man. Much appreciated. Good to
So
have
good,
you on, man. It was good. You came on with different opinions and we had a good old chat. Brian, thank you also for coming on.
Pleasure, buddy.
And we look forward to watching you back on Tottenham on tour regularly. Nige, anything planned, lined up? You got beyond no more Bud in the Pub coming up, or?
Not one plan, no. A few things. May do a show with Charlie over the next couple of days. Nige and Chonk show.
What about
no, nothing
Shin?
majorly planned.
What about what's his name? The Shin. What was that podcast called that you were going to do?
Oh, Mickey's right shin. Yeah, that's shelved at the moment. The shin's on the shelf.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Guys, big up to everyone in the chat. As I said already, good night to you all. Hopefully we'll get the confirmation tomorrow about Frank, and then it's on to the transfer window. And
It's not even that, mate. Next week, the fixture list comes out.
does it?
Oh, interesting.
Next week,
Interesting.
the fixture list comes out, and then you're going to see if we get like 4 of the top 6 in the first 6 or 7 games, they'll be like, oh my God, Frank, how's he going to deal with it? Oh my God, he's under pressure. Or if it's a nice, easy one, they'll be like, oh, that's the way to get Frank settled in. You know what's going to happen. With any bit of news, there'll be the positive and the negative. We have to play everyone twice. Doesn't matter when they come. All how Thomas, Frank, Thomas, Frank. We're all going. I've got there. I can't have Ian write the Aguna song for it. I can't stop singing that. I can't
Do you know
stop
what,
singing
guys? Honestly, Brian, it's nice to see you happy, man.
that.
Honestly.
Oh mate,
Yeah, and Nige and TJ. I know TJ, you're a bit more, you're not so happy, man. But
No, you know what? Look, can I be honest with you? Regardless of what happens, I've learned that Spurs is more than anything in my life. It's not going to put me down, man. I'm a grumpy old character. I've always been like that. Until Tottenham changes, I'm always going to have this point of view that we're nowhere near where we should be. But again, thank you for having me on. You know what? This has made me come back to YouTube. I've got a show with Elijah Too Much of E. So you know what? Let me just give it. Can I give him a plug?
of course,
Guys, if you want to subscribe to anybody, there's one person to subscribe to. Too Much of E. He's up and coming. He is one of the funniest YouTubers on this space. Elijah, big him up in it. I've got a stream with him tomorrow. Big up Has, and yeah. And if you guys want to subscribe to me, you can. It's optional.
I think I'm subscribed to you already, man. But you haven't been putting any content out, have you?
Yeah, I haven't been. I've been away. It's been depressing. It's been a depressing season, to be honest with you. And I just don't like streaming. I get frustrated. But other than that, yeah.
England play tonight. They lost.
Yeah,
3-0 to
3-1.
Oh yeah, 3-1. Wow. To Senegal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It was a friendly anyway, and I feel like, from what I was told, a lot of the first teamers didn't start.
Probably.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it up. Big up to everyone. Hope you enjoy your summer. Take care of yourselves. Please subscribe to Nige. Please subscribe to TJ and Brian if you haven't already. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Leave you out.
Come on, you Spurs, and leave you out.
So that's
110%.
Leave you out.